Times is like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Everybody ready?
He's requesting people from that into the white line. He's with the men.
Oh.
So this minute.
Or he didn't get them.
Oh, okay.
Great, good night. Yep. Great. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of the Seaside School District 10 Board meeting to session. We've got a quorum. Everyone's here. The first one, we don't miss her. But let's rise for the pledge of allegiance. Is flag is in the back. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hi. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody enjoyed that wonderful sunny weekend we just had. Agenda review. Did everyone get a chance to review the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Sir,
Is this the place where I can offer a new business or?
Yeah, I think there's
This agenda for new business?
oh, you want to add something to the
Yeah,
agenda?
yeah.
As opposed to like a,
going through the 24 hours in advance.
Yeah, we have to notice for the agenda, public notice,
So you have to
and
put
so
it-
generally to add an agenda item.
And I'm not sure
would
if this
be
even
good
really
with
applies.
The board chair, or if three members, come.
I just was thinking, maybe again, I don't know if this is, but this is more of a board protocol on public comment, limiting to 3 minutes, and the
We
ladies
can-
comment something, so I don't know if it's a board.
I think maybe you could bring it up in a board reflection.
Okay, sure, yep.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
Like reflect on what Kevin said at the beginning of the meeting.
Right. So a motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye. All
Aye.
those opposed, motion carried. Chuck, I forgot to say hi to you. We saw you earlier. Okay, reports. We have an OSEA negotiation update from Ryan Taylor.
Thank you, Shannon. Hello, everyone. Just to be brief here, just wanted to give an update on where we're at in the process. We are in mediation. Have completed one meeting and have another one scheduled for February 6th. We have made some progress on some areas, including code changes, emergency closures of school language and bereavement leave. And then things we are still working on are our workplace safety language. This is very important to develop language to provide a process for staff to share concerns. So we're working through all this, and I think we're making progress. And I look forward to our next meeting to get some more stuff accomplished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Next, we have an academic progress report from Seaside Middle School. Wendy and Carolina, you are up. Do we want to put some, do you guys want some chairs?
I was just gonna say, it feels kind of weird.
Right, I know. Do you want some chairs?
But we can stand it to the side if that works, and then.
I think they want you on the
Okay.
camera so people at home can see you. You can't leave out the people at home. Sorry, I just realized it's the chairs.
All right, well, we're excited to be here. I think one of the best things about middle school is that we work with a really talented group of people. And today I have Shelby Gagnon, our student support TOSA. She's also an aspiring administrator, finishing her program at the end of this year, so we didn't know that already. And then Carolina Gage, our assistant principal, and then I'm Wendy Frazier, associate principal for middle school. Next slide. Our agenda today, we're going to cover attendance, social emotional learning, behavior and discipline, and then we'll end with academics, focusing in literacy and math. This is just a general overview of our demographics, so I'll give you just a moment to take a look at that. Currently, we have 335 middle school students enrolled. It tends to go up and down. Winter seems to be our lowest enrollment, and then we bump up again in the spring, so that'll shift a little bit. But that kind of outlines to some of our specialized programs as well. Next slide. This just gives an overall snapshot in those 4 areas that we're going to cover: academics, attendance, behavior, and social emotional learning. And it's just broken down by race and ethnicity there. So just kind of a general overview. You can see the area where we are still very red, but making improvement is attendance. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Shelby now to talk about attendance.
This just gives a little snapshot of the overview of attendance and why it matters. And just like when he said, while we still have room to grow, we have made lots of improvement. And I chose this picture of one of our 7th grade students because this is how I feel about the growth that we've made this year so far. So what you're gonna look at right here is our chronically absent rate over time. So chronically absent is defined as students who miss 10% out of the current school days, and you can see the far left is 21-22 school year, all the way to the far right is our current school year. For those first 4 years, we were kind of hovering around that 65, a little bit lower. Last year, 56%. And so far this year, we made a 20% drop, which is positive. Amazing. So as of right now, about 37% of our students are chronically absent, which isn't something to write home about, but man, that 20% drop is.
So just one question,
Yes.
30% of the kids are missing more than 10% of the school day. Got it, thank
Yep.
you, just wanted to.
So that going down is a good thing.
It's a good thing. We want that.
We need to go
be going
farther,
down.
it's in the
Yeah.
right direction.
Last year, so.
Where do
Yeah.
you go to like yellow, or is that what we're seeing here?
Yeah. So, our school-wide goal is 90% or higher, 95%. That bright green is gonna give us that college and career ready. These kids are here, they're here making the decisions, making progress towards that career and college readiness as set by Panorama. And then that 90%, that yellow, they're here. They've had a couple sick days, but they're doing the work. That light red is 80%. 80% to 89% is what we categorize as at risk, and then anything below 80% is that. Next slide, please. Our daily attendance rate, this tells us how many students usually come to school out of all the students who go here. And I just really like this graph because it shows that while we've had some dips, we're pretty darn close to that 95% goal. So 90% daily attendance, again, is something to be really proud of and definitely a growth from last year. You can notice the biggest spike is that November time. And I do want to speak to that, and we'll see it on another slide in just a second. But November is cliche, no school November. We have a lot of built-in breaks, and so I think families take advantage of that to plan different trips and traveling for holidays and things like that. But that was also our first encounter with ICE in our community, and it drastically, as you can see, changed our daily attendance rate for that time. However, then you see that uprise again, or that uptick in data. So we have bounced back with some intentional messaging and some other positive things that I'll talk about in just a second. This is a month-to-month attendance snapshot, so broken down by month to month. The percent of regular attenders, so students with 90% or higher, you can see that number gets bigger almost every month from December to January. When I took this last week, it dropped just a couple percentage points, as well as students with critical attendance. And this I really like to see as well. So that's going to be the second bullet point in each of the month. It goes from 21% to 15% to 12% to 13% to currently 9%. By month. So we're making growth. We're wanting that number to be smaller and our green number to be bigger. And then what are we doing? How are we supporting student attendance? As I'm sure all of you know, right, the district level has asked us to really focus on how are we supporting the students and families with attendance. And in our student intervention team, we came together and attacked it as if we would any other problem or issue that we were seeing or gap that we see at school. And we took it from a 3-tiered lens or perspective. So the big red on top, universal, available for all, but really it's hitting students with 90% or higher. And you can see all those things that we're doing in the red box. And then we break it down to students with at-risk attendance. So they get all those supports and initiatives and outreach and fun things in the red box, as well as some more specific one-on-one intentional connections. And then the blue triangle, students with critical attendance, right, less than 80%. So they get the red box, the yellow box, and the blue box, and that's really individualized support plans with students, with our student intervention team, which is myself, Carolina, Wendy, and our two counselors, with support of our SRO, our secretaries, our school nurses, our school counselors as needed. So really thinking of attendance as a holistic student part of their life. How are we supporting them just as if we would any other guy?
What's an empathy interview?
An empathy interview is a conversation with the student, asking them about themselves and why, and really approaching it with compassion and care, as opposed to why are you gone? More so, why are you gone? We notice you're gone. We're missing you, and then asking clarifying questions and to get to know them.
Cool.
Just wanted to put some visuals of ways we are supporting student attendance. So on the left-hand side, we just started doing this just this past progress report, but inspired by the elementary school, we're doing an attendance progress report for any student who has less than 90% attendance, and it goes out with their academic progress report. So you can just see that up close if you'd like. For our trimester 1 challenge, any student that had 90% or higher attendance for the trimester, they got to put a temporary tattoo on a teacher, and that is our 6th grade PE and health teacher, Nicole 8, who is decked out in temporary tattoos. We also have had just, like so many of our other initiatives, really great connections with local businesses. So every month for every student who has 90% or higher, or who has shown a 5% growth from month to month, which is about 1 to 2 days, depending on how many school days, they get a really awesome coupon from a local business mailed home, as well as a positive note of celebration or yay, you grew. Next slide. We also have been working on the student inspired mural, really trying to send home the message of you belong here, no matter who you are, what you like. So we are working on how do we really make that authentic, because that's what drives attendance, is when kids feel safe and cared about so that they can learn. Where do we go from here? Right, there is a celebration. We're growing. We're doing the thing, and we're having really intentional systems to do that. Areas for growth, just continuation of improvement, some more streamlined and consistent protocol for students who have extended absences for whatever reasons, continuing to work with adults to buy in for implementation, and more connections with community businesses and organizations for support and celebration, which is a little, if you have a business, everybody. Send them my. I also get to talk about social emotional learning, which really ties to one of our district, goals that all students will develop the social and emotional skills to be positive members of the community. Just a recap of what is social emotional learning, or SEL. Oregon's transformative SEL framework and standards were adopted in 2023, implemented by districts in 2024, and we actually started before the implementation requirement date. But it's a framework and standards, just as if it was a content class for strengthening school cultures and promoting student and adult well-being. We implement this, that's great. We implement this with Fidelity, utilizing this Oregon-based curriculum Wayfinder, which, just like any content class, is a curriculum that's geared for grade level standards, but also holistic human, student, child standards. It focuses on 6 main skills, next slide, which you'll see here, which are tied with the Oregon standards. And like we said, there's a curriculum for each grade level, but it also is a really cool program because you can, if your dad is telling you that your students holistically need support with accountability, you can look up lessons and activities to grow your accountability skill. Within Wayfinder, we have weekly formative assessments. So those students get to self-reflect and self-report about how they're doing on those 6 core skills. And you can see our most current snapshot of what that looks like. So some growth in some areas, some lag in some areas, just different things for us to consider as we continue through the year. As well as summative, and we just finished our mid-year evaluation, again, on those 6 core pillars. if you can see in the left-hand corner, the completion rate, the beginning of the year, we had 91% completion. For mid-year, we only had 72%. So I think that's something to consider when looking at this data. It was right when we got back from winter break. When we transition from term to term, sometimes our tech doesn't talk to our other tech, and so we're missing some students. But again, just some room for growth. We also have our annual school-wide panorama surveys. So this is asking students in November how they're feeling about their self-efficacy, growth mindset, self-management, social practice, so on and so forth, as well as their well-being. And I'd love to point out the supportive relationships has the most green. And that really just goes to show that that's good, that's working. And that's how we have all those other conversations about self-regulation, about things happening in the world, about, whatever topic we may be talking about in schools. And as well as the curriculum, we just have daily moments and skills that we're practicing with students all the time, and really work to not just have a curriculum and to be putting names on things, but helping them in real world and real time of how to grow as a human, not just a student. You can see some of those things we do. And some pictures of those things that we do. Lots of guest speakers, lots of awesome field trips, lots of people creating clubs. We have over 12 student clubs, lots of systems of celebration and just recognition for the students and who they are as people. And then just a snapshot, Wendy and Carlina issued out a survey for staff of what they are feeling in the realms of social emotional learning as far as what they're seeing with students, as well as I got to chat with students of what's going well. And so these are some things that folks said. And then again, where do you go from here? It's important to note students are feeling safe with staff. We have lots of opportunities and lots of people work really hard to make those things happen. Lots of activities and events at school, student voice and choice, newly created student advisory. We want to know what students are feeling and thinking and wanting in their school, and 12 plus clubs for students, like I said. And then continued areas for growth, continued adult buy-in, more focus on those specific skills such as accountability or other skills based on what the data says. More opportunities for students to connect with community, student movement, opportunities for middle school, high school mentorship, and continued intentional lessons on student capital.
Behavior and discipline. So if you think back to the third slide that you saw the whole snapshot, the one column that was solid green, really dark green, was behaviors. We're very happy about our progress in behavior and discipline. We divide behavior up into two groups. We have what's called the minors and the majors. And so there you can see kind of a list of things that are minors, which are things that teachers usually take care of in their classrooms. And then we support them as much as we can from our end with those redirects. There you can kind of see the minors broken down. So the top three areas are by SEL, social emotional learning standards, struggling a little bit with social awareness, belonging, physical contact, language, ignoring group norms, self-management and agency, some tardiness, refusal to do some work, throwing items, typical type of middle school behavior, responsible decision-making and curiosity, some technology misuse, being unsafe, some property damage. So those were our top three areas. So we will be focusing on that and helping kids to do that. And then we have what are called the majors, and these would make it into our reporting system called Synergy, and these would be considered referrals. So these, and three of the minors could be considered a major. So these would then come to Wendy and I, and we would be working with the students who got majors. Right here, you can see that drop. So look at that blue, the red, and the yellow. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have a 70% decrease in discipline violations when we compare the same time frame for the last 2 years back. So we're really happy about this.
That's just for the first 4 months of the school year?
Yeah, from September 3rd to January 14th for all 3 years.
So you didn't cheat on that.
Yeah. You attribute this to these activities, is that what you're?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that, but definitely like everything that Shelby was talking about, all those programs, what you just saw, the assemblies, the guest speakers, the touching base with the kids, the SEL lessons that our counselors go in and do twice a week, building relationships with the students, all of those things help contribute to this. And then I wanted you to see kind of the ethnic background breakdown. So the left is our school population and the right are our major referrals. So it's very reflective. So as far as like ethnic breakdown of major referrals, it is representative of our student population. And that's something that's really good to see. And then our suspensions, here are suspensions for the last 3 years, given that same 4-month frame. We can also see a 64% decrease within school, out of school, pending expulsion, half-day suspensions, period suspensions. So you can see we're down to 21. So the blue, the red, and the yellow. So same thing with suspensions.
Were there any policy changes during that between last year and this year that would have explained that,
No.
or practices?
I think that the cell phone, reduction of cell phones probably has a big contributing factor to that. Right, and I think, you know, in the second year, we have kind of more fidelity with that. I think, you know, when you don't have your cell phone readily available, you might not be spending as much time in the bathroom. You know, you might not be, you know, finding yourself taking pictures that you're not supposed to be and posting on social media. So I do think that that's a contributing factor.
And every class is different. So every class has a different personality and is a little bit different. So we do have 1/3 new students and 1 less third student.
You know,
So that also
COVID
contributes.
must play a part too. I mean, we're still gonna be recovering from this for a long time. And some of the kind of the data of where we stand as a school it shows up everywhere from math, reading, you name it, it's tough. And Oregon in particular has suffered pretty heavily comparatively to other school districts nationwide. So I applaud the work here. Hopefully we can keep that moving down, but it's going to be a long recovery.
It's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's great. Mhm.
And so these are kind of key factors contributing to that decrease. Some of those ideas that we had just mentioned, you know, just restorative practices that we use, restorative questioning and conversations we have with the kids. That daily homeroom, 32 minutes every single day, making connections, going over expectations with the kids. School-wide rewards with Shelby does all of that work. You know, today the kids were in the gym playing dodgeball. It was so much fun, the entire school. We're gonna do that the whole week. So it's those type of activities that make it fun to come to school. You know, I would love to be a middle school kid here at Seaside Middle School. It is a lot of fun. You know, and it's all these things that help all that, team meetings, teachers working collaboratively, you know, tutorial every single day, you know, 30 minutes, a tutorial where the students are getting intervention for math and reading, as well as students, like tag students getting a little bit more where they get to expand a little bit. So all those things working in conjunction. And so areas of celebration, all those decreases that we talked about, all those things that are in place that we're doing, and definitely some areas looking at the SEL at the minors, you know, some of those areas that the kids are struggling with and how we can go back and reteach those things in homeroom and help support students in those areas.
All right, academics. We'll wrap it up with academics. You can go to the next slide. This is just kind of a literacy and math snapshot. So it really shows kind of their content coursework in comparison with their STAR and SBAC scores. So that's just a general kind of overview that you can see there. Go to the next slide. This is our longitudinal data for reading. And so it's broken out by grade level. And so we've had pretty consistent growth for this cohort of students over the past 3 years. You can see in 8th grade, there's a little bit of a decrease in our green and blue there. One thing that I do want to point out with the longitudinal data is 24-25 is year long. data. The 25-26 is fall and winter only. And we do generally see a pretty significant uptick between winter and spring. We also benchmark 4 times a year in middle school. I think elementary does 3. And the reason that we do that is we're on trimesters and we do some placement of classes. And so we benchmark at the start of each term, and then we benchmark at the end of the year.
So this is the tool you use, and this is a statewide measure sort of thing?
This is a district. This is our district selected kind of benchmarking test tool. Other districts use different things, but STAR is a really common one across the state.
Then, is there goals around this? I mean, I see the improvement certainly in some of these, but some kind of flat line, like you said, but probably next quarter, but are there goals you're shooting for?
A little bit about it. So like there is a student growth percentile where we want to see students growing between like a 40 and 50. And so we're on track for that for the most part. I think, I'll talk a little bit about it at the end where we have some growth to do. But yes. What are we doing at Seaside Middle School? So we do tutorial 5 days a week. And that's a 32-minute block at back to lunch. And then we this year are doing paced classes in both math and the language arts. And paced classes they're still focused on grade level priority standards. They're generally a slightly smaller class size, and they're really focused on supporting lagging skills that students might have. So for example, in math, we did it by letters this year. So we have a math A, B, C, and D. Our C and D classes are focused on kind of more pacing and a little bit more in the foundational skills. So our kids who are performing farther below grade level. And then we also have accelerated classes. Really excited this year that we added a middle school year-long algebra class that's credit bearing. And so that's been something we've been working towards. We also have accelerated classes in both language arts and math. Again, they're working on priority standards at a slightly accelerated pace with kind of focus on depth of knowledge and really kind of clicking it up so that there's more critical thinking and other things involved there. You can go to the next slide. So tutorial, I'd be really careful and hesitant to say it's an intervention block. It's a differentiated block where students get an extra dose of math and literacy, and then some extension in both math and literacy. Go ahead. We use IXL for math. So this is just kind of a snapshot of where we're at this year. So we've mastered 4,878 topics, and then also skills proficient 9,216. We have celebrations attached to those goals. Kids are working towards root beer floats, and so they're getting close to that. Our STAR scores, so in math, right now, if you're looking at it from the state perspective, we have 29% of students that are proficient, but we have high growth. So we're considered high growth, low achievement. So we have a median of 50 for our SGP, which is the student growth percentile. We have shared middle school goals as a staff for all of our students to be meeting at a 40 SGP. And so we're on track for that. We're right in expected growth.
So if kids, do they have to be proficient to get I'm going all the way to 12th grade. Do they have to be proficient to get a diploma, or is there other?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be necessarily based on like this STAR measure. Like this is really kind of an early warning system, right? Of like where they might need some intervention, where they might need a little bit of extra support. But students can and have in many cases graduated from high school and not been in the green or the blue in STAR.
I had a short time at the college, and this was a big problem that the high school graduates, most of them, I'd say most, like 65%, weren't ready for math, whatever, the college level 111, I think. That so anyway, just I applaud your efforts, but yeah, that's a challenge, I think, obviously.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely a work in progress. But we're on the right track.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good.
And then this is just our tutorial for literacy. We use Achieve 3000 and that bar graph on the bottom. So Seaside Middle School is the colored bars. Expected growth is the black, gray, and light gray bars. And so our kids using Achieve 3000 are making significant Lexile gains, which Lexiles are the measure for their reading readiness. And so we're making significant improvements in that. They also kind of measure, Achieve 3000 does just college and career readiness, and that's based on expected 12th grade Lexile scores. And so, you know, you can see we've got some work to do there, but again, we're making growth, and that's the purpose here for our tutorial programs.
Wendy, do you remember how, is this our 4th year with Achieve 3000?
I believe it's the fifth.
Okay,
Because it was in place when I started, and this is my 5th year.
thanks.
So, and then again, this just kind of shows that SGP, in reading, we have 50% of kids proficient. So we are considered high growth, high achievement. So, you know, elementary is doing a great job with their WIN, sending kids who are much more proficient in reading. And so we don't have quite as far of a way to go in reading as we do in math, but still some significant work to do there. Just talking about acceleration. So I think sometimes we really focus on the kids who aren't, and we have a lot of kids who are, and who are exceeding expectations. So this is kind of just a snapshot. We have 25 students in high school math classes, 20 are in our middle school algebra class, both 7th and 8th graders. And then we have 5 additional middle school students who travel up to high school for a variety of math classes. We have 65 students in tutorial extension classes, 64 students in accelerated math classes, and 71 students in accelerated language arts classes. So it's a good problem to have. I think next year we're going to have to really think about how we're going to run algebra, because we're going to have quite a few students who are ready for that. So, you know, it's just kind of thinking through the after effects of that, but that's exciting. That's exciting for us.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's
Very
great.
good, very good.
This is just kind of what our teachers are saying. You know, I think since COVID, engagement has been a big thing. And I think one of the other things, both COVID and just being online and having immediate gratification, right? Being able to look up anything, you know, areas is just like really getting kids to engage in productive struggle, and sustained effort. You know, handwriting and the physical act of writing is a thing. And so those are just areas that we continue to need to work on. A lot of our kids really kind of missed a pretty important part of elementary school, a lot of them. So, you know, facts fluency, fractions, number sense, some of the academic vocabulary is really some missing pieces still. But on the positive side, we've got kids coming to school more. They're engaged and excited to be here. You know, they're working more independently, more comfortable participating in class, also celebrating themselves. So it's really fun to see and really experience this year now, 5 years out from COVID. Where do we go from here? You know, areas of celebration we've really kind of talked about. Those things are really going well. I think we're starting to see in our data that we need some true intervention at middle school. And that can be really tricky if you don't have intervention teachers. And, you know, the separation, especially when you're thinking about reading, is, you know, in elementary school, the saying is we're learning to read and then we read to learn. And so the science of teaching reading, that reading to learn piece, is a skill. And we've got some kids who really need that. And so really kind of looking at how can we offer some true intervention, which is not our tutorial program per se. So whether that comes from, you know, some districts are having some really good success with, you know, AI tutoring, individualized tutoring, whether that looks like, you know, partnering with elementary and seeing what we can do around a short flood model, those types of things. Extension opportunities for all students. I think that's always a goal. Integration, cross-content integration is really important. And then one thing that I think we can really capitalize on more than what we do is peer tutoring partnership with high school. So those are just some of the things that we would like to really focus on. And that's all we have. Any questions?
No, but it sounds like you guys are all going in the right direction in all areas.
I was wondering about Wayfinder. Is that a program that's specific to middle school aged kids, or is that something that can be replicated for like high school and elementary? Because it seems like it's working so well here in that.
Yeah, so it's actually a district adopted
Oh,
curriculum. It's an Oregon-based
Got it.
company. They did an event and unlike a lot of the social emotional learning curriculums, this was actually designed with secondary students in mind first. And so it's a little less cheesy, a little more relevant. I've just put it out there. I've seen some, yeah, anyway. But it also has an elementary component as well.
It's used in elementary too. In high school.
Can you go back to slide 20, or excuse me, 6 of 52? Yeah, 6 of 52.
Sorry, we had a lot of great things to share.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to give you credit. That wasn't a cheap shot. So one of the things that I think very insightfully that the administration has put forward is emphasis on attendance, right? This year as part of the foundation for improving. You gotta come to school first, like open the doors, then the improvements come and everything else. That improvement there, go 56 to 36% year on year, is remarkable. I think that as we enter a new budget cycle, we don't want to lose that momentum because it's diminishing returns, right? I don't think we handed the staff $4 million and said, improve attendance, right? It was really kind of done on the back of staff, with some very limited resources and creativity in this. I don't want to lose that momentum, especially entering into a budget cycle this year. If we all still agree that it is part of the foundation for improving performance of the school district, that's great. I think we should consider real tattoos. I just want to put that out there. Something to think about. Something to think about. But no, in all seriousness, I really do think that, like, I don't want to lose that momentum. I think that we need to talk about it as part of, because the grade school put forward very comparable numbers, again, due to creativity and not with a ton of external resources. So if we enter this budget cycle, we need to talk about it. We need to say, are we serious about maintaining this as the foundation for improved performance over the next few years? And then we need the staff and Susan to come forward and say, here's the premium cost, here's the bronze package, and then whatever it is in between. And then we need to figure that out because we're entering a very challenging budget cycle. But we as the board, like, this was done on the back of staff and everything else this time. And God bless you for it. So thank you for that.
I mean, this is amazing. It's like replicate this, right?
Right.
With what they have.
Right. But
The others.
if it's water from a rock, right? Like, we need to improve the rock. Shine it, whatever the
Diamond in the
analogy is. Hard to say. I don't think you can continue to get 40-50% improvement year on year in attendance without putting resources to it. Without putting resources towards it. And I think that is us to start,
Because, you know,
or to accept, nope, that's it. That's as good as we can do.
Well,
Like,
right.
no, I'm not sure I follow entirely. I don't know if it's all a money issue. I think there's lots of things that are going on, but it's this engagement and it's a complicated thing, but I kind of doubt that if we spent another $100,000, we can drive this down with money. I think it's gonna have to be something through your work and kind of figuring it out. And I think other districts would be great to check because we certainly spend as much as any other district. So if we've got some out there that are really getting it, I think we need to figure out we used to at the bank of more, better, different, less in this quadrant. We need more of this. We need to do things differently. We need less of that and different. So more, better, different, less is a great way to kind of look at it. It's like we need more of certain things, we need less of certain things, because there's only so many hours in a day, right?
Well, definitely what we're hearing tonight and what we heard from the elementary is that we have a lot of creative people who really focus on relationships and connecting with folks and how building those relationships with students. And we're seeing that I mean, we've always seen that that's the key, but really being intentional about it. So I applaud you for that.
Yeah, I
Is there-
agree. I
is
think
there a way to solve-
relationships-
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there a way to celebrate those teachers and who are doing this work and seeing this great outcome? Is that a thought?
What do you mean by that?
Well,
We can solve.
I mean,
like,
we do.
is there something like that? I don't know, because I feel like this is just amazing with what they've done, and it's a lot of hard work, and the relationships that you guys are building with the students, like, this is amazing. I feel like we should celebrate that with teachers.
Should talk about that.
Yeah, we would love some support with that.
We'll talk about
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a work.
We're gonna have to schedule them.
We can talk
I'm
about
writing it down.
I didn't know.
it.
Oh, great. No, I think you guys are doing a great job and we appreciate it. And all that relationships is what makes it turn. So thank you.
Thank you.
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I just noticed on the IXL component, it has a home component to it
It
as
does,
well, doesn't
yeah.
it?
And
Where they can work on it at home.
yeah, they can. And achieve 3,000 too. So they can always log in through their account and access it through their school account.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, next is staff safety report. Susan.
All right. Thank you so much. At our last board meeting, there was a request by the board to take a closer look at our accident report data. And so, while Greg brings that up, it's good to have this be on the heels of the information that the middle school shared about theirs. So I wanted to share a little bit about how our staff learn about workplace safety practices. So I'll be real brief on this part, but just so that the board and the community has a picture on this. We do a lot of what I'll call kind of our tier 1 training. So that's what all of our staff do, some online training at the beginning of the year through Public School Works. There's some training that all of our staff do, and then there's some specific trainings to specific jobs based on people's responsibility. All of our staff need to complete that training by October 31st of each year. There's some trainings that don't need to be completed every year that maybe are like every 2 or 3 years. In addition to that, we have some in-person or what we call on-the-job training that's tailored to specific job responsibilities. I have some examples up there. For instance, our bus drivers do, behind the wheel trainings. There's safety care and Yukuru. I hope I said that right. For a training for our special education staff to keep them and the students safe, as well as first aid training. There's many others, but I just wanted to put a couple up there that are specific to certain jobs. Of course, the principals have monthly staff meetings, and there are staff handbooks. In addition, special education teachers who are case managers may have meetings with their staff to go over individual student needs as plans are updated, and then of course regular reviews of behavior support plans for individual students. Next slide. So what happens if a staff member is injured at work? So we have an employee accident report there. This is not the entire report. I just did a little capture there. This is a form that's found online under employee forms on the HR page. And this is a fillable form. So if a staff member is injured at work, the process is for them to report this to their supervisor. If medical attention is needed, then we take care of calling for somebody first for that. And then they complete this accident report, asking specific information. So we have that. That is submitted to their supervisor. And then, of course, if some people need to see a doctor, some do not. But if there's any ongoing concerns about that, then we ask that those be reported and updated with us. Next slide. Then as we get our accident reports, when the individual building principals or supervisors, if it's from different areas, for instance, transportation or food service or any of those other areas, then we track them at the district office. We have a spreadsheet where we track these, and then we're looking for trends. We do have a safety committee. We have a board policy. Our safety committee is run by Mr. Chuck Loesch, who is our facilities supervisor. It meets the first Thursday of every month. We do have representation from all employee groups in that safety committee. Concerns are brought to that meeting. This meeting, anybody can attend this meeting, not just the people who are on the committee. And the meetings are posted monthly on the website for anybody to see. So I did compile the accident reports that have been turned in over the last 3 years. I did differentiate between, a student to staff injury and then a staff injury where no student was involved. So for instance, an example of a staff injury might be a staff member tripped and fell. But a student to staff injury was where a staff was injured by a student's behavior, whether intentional or not intentional. Okay. So there you have the numbers over the last 3 years. Obviously, 25-26 is from September through it's actually probably some in August as well because of our staff who are 12-monthers. Okay, so anyway, what you see here, I'm honestly not surprised that there are more at the elementary level because we have younger students. Like we've talked about before, physical behavior is communication for a lot of our students. And I think that it's good to be able to look at this and be able to see, what areas can we improve on? What areas can we continue to monitor? And be able to look at the difference between student to staff injuries and staff injuries. I will say that the majority of the student to staff injuries are with our most highly impacted students. That being said, I have asked Jenny Reisner, our Director of Special Services, who oversees our special education program, to come and do a report in our February meeting to be able to talk about the program, because we haven't had that, at least in a couple years, where you learn about all the different parts of our program. And she's really the expert on that.
Just good.
So I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Gosh, I really gotta stop interrupting.
You're good.
No, it's okay. You're good.
The 25-26, is that till December data, or is
The
that
23-24 and 24-25 are the full
full year?
year.
And then for 25-26 is all the way to December or till right now?
This is through December.
December, okay.
So, you're looking at, I mean, if you work on the law of averages, by the time the school year ends, we'd be looking at, if we tripled that, we'd be looking at, 18 and and 6 at the elementary.
As reported on the injury form.
Correct.
Okay.
Mhm. As reported on the injury form. Mhm.
Right, accident reports, that,
Mhm.
It's the only real outlier with an N1 or 2 is the elementary school student to staff jump year on year. And then year to date, I would argue it is better than, or at least on track to a comparable number to at least the previous year. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay,
And if you were to, I'm a numbers person.
Oh,
You didn't know that about me.
sure.
And I mean, if you look at, I mean, of course, I will preface that our students and our staff are not numbers, they're people. But if you look at, once again, the law of averages, at the elementary, we have 36 classrooms. We have 595 students. We have 176 days of instruction. So if you look at for instance, 2024, 2025, with 24 accident reports over the course of the 176 days, that would equal 13% of our 176 days, an accident was reported.
Yeah, I think like we could really dig in on just these 25% increase year on year, right?
Mhm.
And that is a flag for the discussions we're already having
Sure.
and other channels.
Mhm.
But it's interesting, the staff injuries are wildly higher than the other schools.
Mhm.
So
It is. Mhm.
that's weird, just kind of
Mhm.
wondering why.
And I think it gives us good information, I mean, I appreciated going through this exercise myself because it made me want to dig deeper and look for some trends through that.
Yeah.
And I've attended a few of the safety committee meetings, and I appreciate the way that people, sometimes it's as simple as, the discussion as simple as, oh, I think we need to paint this curb, a bright color so that, people, aren't.
Well, and
Aren't
oftentimes,
tripping over
this
it.
is just, you get folks who are more comfortable filling out this report. than
Sure.
others, and you tend to get multiple
Right,
reports, just
right.
like the kids probably, or there's a few that are heavily
Yeah.
responsible for some of these numbers.
And I think
sure that's true.
it'll be really good to learn some more from Jenny next month.
Yeah.
As she delves into it a little bit more.
Yeah, this is exactly what I think we were talking about last time. So then the question of Jenny becomes, so what are we doing about it? And then what could you do about it?
Yep.
and what are we doing?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep, yep.
I can make another budget comment.
So,
What could you do about it with resources?
Yeah, well, the good news is that the trainings that we provide are normed to, they're used a lot and commonly throughout other districts. And we really continue to improve that. We, have our own trainers, and so I think it's ongoing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we
it's
should
ongoing, and there's always room to improve.
Keep our eyes on it, for sure.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you. Oh, superintendent's report, you're up again.
student business.
Oh, did I
Student
skip?
business.
Sorry.
We do
Ella.
not want to skip
Okay.
that.
Skip you.
So
So I did not have my glasses.
I put together a fun little presentation
Yay.
about what's going on in student land. So we have senior nights coming up. And I would love it if you were all there. For mine, swimming is my sport. It's this Thursday at 4:15. If you want to come support our seniors, cheer on swimming. It's a unique sport. It's not like basketball. You might get a little soggy. It's a lot of fun. There's lots of cheering. There's gonna be lots of people there. And it's just a fun, different thing if you want to come check it out. And to all of you guys, senior night. Wrestling happened last Tuesday. So we got to support all of our senior wrestlers graduating. As far as I know right now, basketball, pet band, and cheer are going to be on the 24th of February, which is a ways out, but just a heads up on that. And some highlights, dual credit classes is something that I feel like is often overlooked, but we have in Writing 21, which is our college writing class for seniors. We have 51 seniors taking it, which is awesome. So they can get a head start if they're planning on going to college or whatnot. We have so many science classes, which I love. I really love science, so that's my jam. And then we have more. We have public speaking classes, children's literature classes, so many. And so just, yeah, thanks for providing those. Other things, we have the winter one acts also on Thursday. You could go to the swim meet, then go to the play. You have your Thursday booked, right? The high school and middle school drama performances at 7 this Thursday, and then the elementary school on the 28th. Robotics is in the recruiting and building phases. If you haven't checked out the robotics team, they're doing some super duper cool stuff. So I'll let you know when they have competitions and whatnot. FBLA are currently drafting their projects for their state and national championship competitions. If you don't know what FBLA is, it's run by Mr. Verhulst, and it's the Future Business Leaders of America, and it's an awesome program that we have here. Super awesome. Key Club is doing the Snowball Winter Dance. I have more on that slide later. And then band and choir, we just finished up the OME All-State Honor Band and Choir, which is where I was this weekend. And then we have district honor bands and choirs, which have happened and are coming up. Just some really cool opportunities for students involved in music. Okay, so ASB activities. So we have the coin flash right now, which the money proceeds go to the Clatsop County Animal Shelter, who Miss Waldemar and Mr. Olsted have graciously offered up their hair to encourage us to do. So as you can see on the jar on the opposite side of the window, if we raise $1,200, they have offered to shave their heads. I don't think I would do it, but there's the what I think AI generated photos of them doing it. So yeah, thanks to them. It's against Astoria as well, so it's an added incentive to the Clatsop Clash Games to raise money for charity. And then Seagull Fridays, which we started doing and adopted from the middle school, where if you're wearing spirit wear, you get popcorn, which is just a great incentive for culture at our school and to be proud of it. Snowball is coming up. We announced the courts today, as well as Pied Mr. Boyd. For extra fun. Our theme is City Under the Stars. Thank you to Bruce's and Costco for doing snacks and treats. Really appreciate it. It's this Saturday. If you want to chaperone, they'll always take more. If you want to go relive high school at a high school dance, we'll take you. But yeah, some super cool things there as well. Yeah, and then thank you. And then I was specifically wanted to say, talking to kids across Oregon this weekend, they're like, oh my gosh, I hate the phone ban. It's so hard because it went into effect in January. I wanted to give a special shout out to you guys. Thank you for putting that in place like last year. I really appreciate not having to go to the top of the year and have to deal with that. It's just, it's tough, but as a whole, we really appreciate not having to switch halfway through the school year as students, because that would have been rough, and the coming back from break's already rough. We don't need it to be more. So yeah, thank you guys. That's it.
Thank you. That was amazing. So much fun stuff.
Oh, and if you come to the swim meet, we always need more timers. So bring a pair of flip-flop. Take you.
Alright.
Yeah, if you've never done that, it's super fun.
It is.
Never done
It
the
is
times,
fun.
but the swim meets are fun. Cool. Thank you, Ella. Now superintendent.
Yes, all right. All right, next slide. It is January, our superheroes. It is really important to honor our superheroes. So can't say enough how much I appreciate all of you for all your hard work and your collaboration. So thank you. It was really fun to read the student letters that came around. So thank you for that. I also did want to highlight that one thing That is really cool. That happens in the transportation department each month. That Chris Peters started this year was having a driver of the month. So I did want to show this to you. This, of course, Brian Massey is was their driver of the month for December. And I will read to you what Chris Peters says about Brian. Brian's professionalism and attention to detail has made him a phenomenal instructor for our team. Brian is a bus driver and then also an instructor and trainer for other bus drivers. He's willing to go the extra mile, pardon the pun, to support his teammates, students, and staff, bringing innovative ideas and solutions to the bus barn and transportation department. His certification as a core instructor in the fall is paying dividends, helping both Seaside and neighboring districts receive required training locally, saving time and money while bringing his unique insights and local lessons in his classroom and coaching to prospective drivers. Brian has been an invaluable and insightful voice supporting prospective driver evaluation. So congratulations to Brian.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. Okay, next slide. I did also want to share that Senator Wyden will be visiting the high school this Friday. Many of our local elected officials come and visit. Bonamici came this past year. What is unique about this town hall, while it's open to everyone, Senator Wyden really wants to hear student voice and get a perspective from the students. So this is happening, like I said, during the school day, 12:30. The secondary school has arranged for 50 middle school students and high school students who are currently taking a social studies class to specifically come to this. So if you are available, it will be fun to come and hear the questions that the students have.
Is it in where are they doing
It's
it?
in the high school gym.
The gym.
Yep. Yeah, so that will be great. As I've been talking for the last couple months, we are working through a budget reduction process for this next year. Been having conversations with a lot of folks about this, and I wanted to make sure and share today kind of our timeline and process for that. As I've shared earlier, we do have a 2.4 million to cut out of the budget for next year. The majority of the 2 million is for PERS increases. We've also seen about $100,000 reduction in timber revenue, and we have received about $300,000 less in property tax payments than we projected. So this last month, we were shoring up exactly what that number was. The rest of this month and part of next month in February, I'm having meetings with principals and supervisors to identify their reduction priorities. I did talk to the union about this process as well. So in February, once I have those priorities from the principals and we begin kind of drilling down into those kind of reductions, then I'll get more feedback once again from union leaderships, as well as our equity advisory committee and the two members from this board who are on the strategic and operational board advisory committee to the superintendent, which is Kat and Jason, and then bring that information forward as we continue to do this. In March, I do not know at this time if staff assignments or transfers or any reduction in force will be needed because we're in the early planning stages. But I did want to point out that in both collective bargaining agreements, there is a specific process for that. But just wanted to share that with everybody.
Yay, we don't
Okay.
want to have to reduce any staff.
That is
That's
always
the number
to keep that out of the picture.
Susan, that's a surprise to me on the property tax thing, because, you know, what caused that?
Well,
I've never heard of
I
that.
think it's a variety of reasons. We are seeing, not only, federal grants, state grants and local,
So, yeah, maybe I
we're
can-
seeing information.
In 2000, sorry to interrupt, in 2007, when we had the whole market crash, we had a huge shortfall because people weren't paying their taxes. So basically, that's what happened. Some people aren't able to either afford it or choosing not
Okay,
to pay
that's,
it.
okay, that.
And that's kind of
Well,
where
yeah.
that,
We're just
in the property tax, there's where that falls.
Just people aren't paying. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really like I'm saying, it's a combination of getting revenues later and the fact that
So they will come, because you can foreclose eventually, right? Or
some may trickle in, but we are seeing the initial $300,000 less because of we've got some people who are defaulting on their homes.
interesting.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Well, I would just say, since this is my final meeting, but I would just say we have to, we will always have this bucket that will never be big enough to do everything, right? So this more, better, different, less might be a great approach. You can get creative. And are there other examples out there? I would just say the building piece needs to be considered because there's no voice for the real estate that we have here. And I just see those budgets get drained where there's no money to take care of the places. So I just hope that's considered, and I wish you all great luck. Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Kevin,
Thank you.
little words. Wish you luck. All right.
Thanks, Susan.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's
Business and fiscal report. Tony is not here tonight with us, so Susan, you're gonna
Yeah,
take that one too.
No, it's me. You guys are
You're gonna work hard today.
Yeah. So, you have the standard two reports that you normally receive, from Tony. A couple things to point out, like I was just talking about, is that December's tax turnover was disappointing. We received only 191,467 and 21 cents as opposed to last year's 537 thousand 105.26. So what we're seeing is we are seeing reimbursements and revenue coming in much slower than we normally are. I did already talk about the PERS increase. I once again will just point out that immediate revenue coming in slower. And hopefully next month, Tony will be back with us to give you these reports.
Yeah. Any questions for Susan? We're short 13 million. Unexpected. Anyways.
And expenses on the other side of the coin, are they running? I mean, I haven't studied this, but you're a numbers person. So how are we doing on expenses?
I think we're doing okay. I mean, we're continuing to see, fuel prices are going up and down, so that's just something to continue to watch, as well as utilities. They're volatile right now.
Yeah. Yeah, because 80% of the budget is salary. So those are what you're actually getting some variance on, right? So,
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't see honestly how you have a $2.4 million hole and not have it impact, but
Well, we don't. You're meeting next week though to address that because the 2.1 of that 2.4,
2 million.
2 million of the 2.4 does not coincide with what we would have expected. It's 100%.
just
Or year on year, like
all agree.
it's an absurd increase
Exactly,
year
right,
on year.
right.
So that is unrealistic to go from 2.8 last year to 5.5 this year.
Yeah.
That is not,
It's a gut punch,
that doesn't make sense.
right?
So we're going to find out more.
Right.
I'll be able to give you a little bit more of an update on it. Next Tuesday, I'll get, I have, a meeting to where I'll learn a little bit more specifically about our PERS increases.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. School reports, and just a reminder, we just need one administrator from each building. So Jeff,
Yeah. so I
looks like
think
you're
it
itching to go.
translated, Well.
Oh, Jeff, can you just come up for the viewers at home? They want to see you. Got a nice looking seaside shirt on today.
Yeah, well,
They want to see the merch.
yeah, you're going well. It's interesting always with smiles on people's faces as the weather changes. Hopefully there is a prolonged effort by the powers that be to continue that, because it does certainly, I think, just changes the dynamic in the building. Students are able to go outside and enjoy themselves. We don't have necessarily the best opportunity to do that here, but I think they've been taking advantage of it. Everyone continues to do a pretty remarkable job of doing my job for me. And so I appreciate that. All of the things that she mentioned are certainly important to all of our students. I think it's oftentimes, right, our basketball teams and our football teams and such get a lot of attention. I think it's really important that this community continues to support swimming, support band, and they never have not, right? I mean, I think especially when we look at our performing arts, and so I just ask people to continue to come out and support those activities and ensure. And so I hope you appreciated the treats tonight. I think this is one of the again,
Yes, thank you.
the programs is important to me, important to our community, our culinary arts program. We're blessed to have 3 really robust CTE programs that continue to grow and continue to evolve. And so those are the fruits of some of our students' labor today. So I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's amazing. I've been dug in.
Was it delicious? You told me what it was. I didn't even understand what it was, but it sounded delicious. So, yeah.
All right, thank you. Middle school, do you have anything else? You just did a big presentation. You're good. All right. Who do we have back there? Ellie? Oh, Julie. Hi, I didn't see you back there.
Just hiding back there. Good evening. In honor of School Board Appreciation Month, we want to dedicate our school board report to you all. So we have a special video
Oh,
from our elementary students, because who better to say it than the kids, right? Go viral there.
really?
Get your tissues.
Tissues
Oh,
out. I was gonna say, get the tissues out.
Thanks for driving. Right.
It's having fun out there. They're practicing for their one acts up there.
Who's their director
It
of her?
sounds like there's, I mean, a lot of kids, like they're jamming. It's exciting.
Good time.
Key club.
Key club.
Okay, Key Club is the high school version of Builders Club. It's like our community outreach, community service kind of club that Miss Susie and Miss Boughton run. I think Chandral is the president this year. She's doing an awesome job.
Kiwanis.
Yeah.
It's the high school version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right, cool.
that's a good description.
Yes. Thank you.
And they're putting on the snowball dance.
Yeah.
They do know.
Yeah, but
Sleep great.
our other dances are the class offices put on for each grade puts one on. I think that not the freshmen, but the sophomores, juniors, and seniors all put one on, and then as well as the club.
There we go.
What do you like about our school, Bella? Something you like about our school? What do you like about our school?
We have to do, and science and stuff like that. Is very kind to us. Thank you.
Sorry, Ellen.
That was good.
Thank you. You're always welcome to come and visit down anytime. And yeah, thanks all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay, Cannon Beach Academy. Did I see Mary Ellen out there? She is not, is she, no? I don't see her. Okay. We will get one from her.
Yeah, you do have a director's report in here.
Oh, that's right, she sent something.
Yeah.
Okay. Unions, Brett, you're up.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, doing good. Oh, now I wish I could not work tomorrow and go see Mr. White. That is cool. I want to go see Mr. White. Senator White. Anyway,
It's Friday.
oh, it's Friday. Well, yeah, okay.
Either way.
Okay, teachers are eager to get back into the routine. It's kind of hard. It's kind of a jolt to our system. Yeah, it's like the 2 weeks off. I don't know. I think it's worse than having full summer because it's like, oh, I just got used to this. But yeah, we're ready to get back to our routine and dive into instruction. January, February, teachers are very eager to get as much as they can in before we start the state assessments. Update on the teacher emotional break protocols. They've been rolled out at each of the buildings. And for some, this was something that they've already felt comfortable doing, taking a break or asking for a break. I've heard from others that it's a great relief that now we have language on this. So thank you, administrators, for working on that with us. We're really appreciative of that. Jane Crater and I met with the superintendent to review next year's school calendar options. We were once again, thank you for incorporating and having us there for that. And we did survey our members and we all came to a consensus that are you gonna go over that soon?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, but
The earlier,
It's on the.
okay, but SEA is all for the earlier calendar, starting in August before Labor Day. And there was a lot of support for them. And then just lastly, I just want to say that SEA is fully supports OSEA's efforts for bargaining and safety language in their contract. That's it.
Thanks, Brett. Thank you.
Brett.
Megan.
Hello. Few things, I'll start with, along with SEA, OSEA staff were surveyed. in regards to the calendar, and the majority also chose the earlier start date, so we're kind of in the same category there. As everybody knows, mediation was last Thursday. The bargaining team thought that we were inches away from having an agreement, but as the day went on, it was clear that we were further away than originally thought. After 14 hours at the table, the bargaining team feels that we are now miles apart. It is disheartening to know that while the lip service of "we value you and your safety is important" is being said, actions speak louder than words. By not allowing staff to verbalize their safety concerns to their immediate supervisor, whether it's a student biting them or a new cook not knowing how to use the meat slicer but being expected to do so anyways, contradicts what the district is saying. By having SPED IAs sign a paper that they read the memo about physical abuse from students that can be avoided if we would just recognize the students' triggers is insulting. So you asked, Jason, what can we do about those staff reports up there? The district can hear from the staff. They can listen. They can let them come to the table. They can allow the staff to take a break. The teachers now get a timeout. The teachers can now say, hey, we need to step away for a moment and regroup and come in with a clear head and be able to be safer in the grand scheme of things. That's all we're asking for, is that same courtesy. Safety isn't about numbers. It's about creating an environment where staff can bring concerns forward and feel heard and help prevent future instances. Your staff are not here for the glamour or the glitz of the job. We are definitely not here for the pay. We are here because we love our job, the students and families that we serve. At the beginning of the school year, I asked all the staff to not to think of their why, but rather to think about and remember who they are. It is evident every day when we walk through the doors of our respective buildings of who we are. Who are we? We are compassionate, kind, friendly, welcoming, accepting, understanding, helpful, loving, and dedicated. Open your eyes and see who we are and start allowing us to protect ourselves when the occasion arises. That's all OSCA has.
You may.
All right, thank you, Megan. Public comment. The meeting will now be open to receive public comment. We value the time and initiative members of the public take to share their thoughts with the board. The board's role during public comment is not to immediately respond, but to listen. If follow-up is necessary, we will direct our superintendent to do so. Remember that we are all role models for our students. Please share your thoughts respectfully. Should any public comment include complaints regarding a personally identifiable staff member, the board chair will direct the speaker to the proper administrative processes found in board policy KL, public complaints. Speakers will have 3 minutes to express their thoughts. Anyone with public comments, you're welcome to come on up. We have one on there?
Yeah, it's all.
Okay, should I just read that? Or does he want to?
Is he still on?
All that.
Or it says-
I'm
It was from an hour
wondering
ago.
what's planned for the special ed class.
Oh, no need. Okay, well, let us know if you change your mind.
I can connect with Jashawn too. And
Okay, and ask him what's going on there. Okay.
I'll connect with him tomorrow.
Teacher or?
No, he's a parent. He's a parent, actually. Mhm.
Any other public comment? Okay. We will move along. We are on the consent agenda. Everybody had a chance to review the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Action items, since where we are, correct? Now, back to this point, the budget calendar. Susan.
So what you have here in the attachment is the 25-26 budget calendar. Each year, we need to, the board needs to adopt the budget calendar. Our process begins at the end of March with the where we publish the notice of our first meeting. And right here, it is outlined the dates through April and May, and through June about the budget process. So once again, the board, it's required that the board adopt the 25-26 budget calendar.
Sometimes.
I got motion here. I move to approve the 2025-2026 budget calendar as presented.
A second.
Motion's been made and made and seconded, thanks, to approve the 25-26 budget calendar as presented. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Now
We have Chuck on here too.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, they heard.
yeah, okay,
He's trying.
sorry.
Hi, Chuck.
Good job. Local service plan report and
Mhm.
authorization, Susan.
Yes. Okay, Greg, can you bring up the presentation for that? So as Greg's bringing that up, each year, each individual school district and school board are presented the Northwest Regional ESD Local Service Plan. You have in your attachments the comprehensive local service plan and the resolution. I'm gonna just walk you through this quickly to take you through the process. Okay, next slide. The Northwest Regional ESD is actually the largest ESD in the state of Oregon. It covers the largest area. Besides Clatsop County, it also covers Columbia, Tillamook, and Washington County. You'll see there the school districts that it covers in each of the separate counties. Next slide, please. Okay, here is some information that is specifically about Seaside. We have current participation in many areas to be listed here, not in their entirety, but to highlight some. Ninth grades, we participate in the ninth grade success network. Our attendance services are included in the local service plan. Outdoor school, and our STEM hub are some other ones, just to name a few. So once again, 80, and this last year in 24-25, we had 84 fifth graders who attended outdoor school. We go in the fall, and we also had 6 high school student leaders who helped. We had 34 kids who were served through early intervention through our district. We had 6 students who participated in the Diverse Educator Pathway Program. We do work with some of the staff through the ESD for special education support with staff that we do not hire ourselves. And some examples of this would be like through the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program, autism services, to name a few. And we also have one staff participating in the Aspiring Administrators program, Shelby, who was up here presenting earlier. Okay, next slide. So each year the ESD works with the superintendents in individual districts to develop a local service plan. So the local service plan is broken into some different services. The first one being core services. And those are things that all of the school districts in each of the counties can pick from a menu without using local service credits. And then there's a menu of services that are available to the individual school district. Like I said, it's kind of an à la carte menu, and to be able to say, these are things that we don't provide directly to our school district, but will benefit our school district. And once again, we pick and choose. And then integrated guidance technical assistance, that's for our Measure 98 for our college and career readiness, our student investment account, and a variety of other grants that that we need to write. We receive technical assistance from them as we're going through that process. Next slide, please. Okay, so the role, of course, of you is each year the ESD, the local service plan must be adopted by the board, and that must be done before March 1st. Okay, next slide. Okay, so how is the money that the ESD gets from the state school fund used? So about 10% goes to the ESD for their operations, but the majority, as you can see, goes to school districts to be able to use for the core services and the specialized menu I was talking about earlier. Next slide. Okay, here's just a timeline of the process that we go through. We begin this in the spring and throughout the fall to begin that planning process. And then each year, all the superintendents in the ESD kind of get together and do some planning and then come to you for approval. Next. Okay, I've highlighted specifically the programs that we currently take advantage of. So as far as technology services, we Synergy is housed at the ESD, and we take advantage of that. For our emergency closure systems, we do use Flash Alert to be able to push out besides Parent Square the information. With administration, once again, they provide us with a program for our aspiring administrators, as well as some analysis, which is done by a couple of retired administrators. The majority of what we use is through instructional services. As I shared early, BASES is about behavior, attendance, and social emotional supports. And then there are 2 grant writers at the ESD, divided between each grant writer having two counties. And our grant writer has written several grants for us. So we really appreciate that, because in a district our size, we do not have our own grant writer. Okay, educational programs, 2
Real quickly, the highlighted ones indicate what?
What we currently use through the ESD. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, two programs that I really want to highlight that we have been taking advantage for a couple years now in Hillsborough is the Junior Achievement, which is 5th grade Biz Town, which is a big hit. And we've recently added Finance Park, which is for our 8th graders. Had an opportunity to go and experience that with Shelby. That was really great. And so those are like a day of like simulations where kids are really experiencing what it's like to be part of a business model. And then, of course, outdoor school, which is awesome, with our 5th graders. In the state of Oregon, it's 5th or 6th grade. We choose to send our 5th graders. Next slide. Okay. As I was talking about, there are some special education services that we are unable to, in the size of our district, provide staff for that. So we have some of these services that we contract with the ESD and use some of our service credits for that. So that that outlines that right there. Next slide. Okay. Some other technology, I talked earlier about the Public School Works, which is those online trainings. The ESD supports that work, as well as Synergy and any of the criminal background checks when we hire staff, and the background checks we do for our volunteers as well. Next. Okay. As I was talking about with the technical assistance plan, each year we are required to apply for grants for the Student Success Act, which is a very large grant for us that is that mostly funds staffing positions. So they do support that. As far as, well, we write the grant. They do provide a lot of resources for us and do the final readings and tell us if there's some things we're missing in there. Okay. Once again, here are some services, kind of what we call value added, which are some grants that the ESD provides for us. Okay. Next slide. So especially in smaller districts, the ESDs really play a vital role in providing some services that we as an individual district can't provide. I do attend monthly superintendent meetings in Hillsborough too, which are really beneficial. There are 20 individual school districts that are supported, so really appreciate their help. It's helpful. So I bring this local service plan for 2026 to 2027 for your approval tonight.
So the highlighted ones are you're recommending approval for the coming year,
Those are the services that we currently take advantage of.
and you want to just
And
keep it
we'll
the same?
continue those.
Okay, that's where.
Yes.
Now, was there more to, I mean, this is the first I've seen this, so but is there been a robust discussion about, because there was some CT stuff in there that I thought would be pretty neat.
Yeah, there are some, there are some CTE programs that are county specific. For instance, in Washington County, they're doing a CDL, training, but that's only available in Washington County. So there's some that are county specific that are, yeah.
Okay.
It's,
Go ahead.
I was thinking, so the packets, it could be inclusive of the other listed items if we chose to want to branch out with.
And some of the items we don't use because we've made a concerted effort to, since we got back from COVID, the ESD was, often providing our physical therapy, our occupational therapy, our speech pathologists. And after COVID, they were offering a lot of those positions just virtually. And we wanted to have as many people on site in person as possible. So we've transitioned to some of those positions where we hire some of our own, but like for instance, we will contract, for instance, if we have a student who's hearing impaired, then we'll just contract with them, which varies year by year.
But that's part of the whole package
Right.
that we are buying into. Okay.
Yeah.
I move to approve Resolution 3 authorizing the Northwest Regional ESD Local Service Plan for 2026-2027.
A second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Resolution 3 authorizing the Northwest Regional ESD Local Service Plan for 26-27. Are there any questions? I will just make a statement that we do this every year. So it'll come back around.
It needs to be.
You know what I mean? You have to approve it every year.
It's just thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
In the sense of if we had to do a 2.4 million budget, so I had to think through the process on this.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously it's needed, right? I know that.
Well, and it's just
more of a-
We'll see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cafeteria thing that you can choose, and of course, there's prices so we can understand. Oh, sorry.
You're good, yeah.
Just to see what the options are, I feel like that's what we did last year. I don't really have an objection, I guess, but I don't know what the prices of anything are and how they would have interacted with each other and the school district plans. So with that, I
Is
guess.
there, with the other school districts in our group, is there additional? Are they emphasizing other programs? Like, what does that slice look like for? So it's us, Astoria, Jewel, Napa, Warrenton, that we would all share a broad plan that we're all voting on together. Is that correct?
No, each individual district.
Each district.
Right.
I mean, we work together as all 20 districts when we develop the local service plan. And about a year ahead of it, what we do is we work together and say, hey, these are the services that you're not providing that we need. And so we go through that process to be able to give them feedback if there's some things that we need.
But Warrenton, Astoria may have different selections than we do.
Mhm.
Well, their student population might be different than they have different needs than we
Right,
would have.
well,
And for
again,
in-
some are offered
yeah.
and some are not. so.
Right, and for instance, Napa or Jewel may only need an occupational therapist for 1 day a week, where, you know, we may need them full-time.
And the Northwest ESD, you said it's like 10% of our budget, or is 10% of the state allocation? How does that work?
Of the state school fund, not of.
Okay,
our
so we
budget.
don't contribute to them, or?
Well, they receive an allocation for us, and then it's given to us. Now, we have local service credits, and then, you know, we can, if we go over that, we can buy extra credits from them.
And then
And I'm happy to share their rates with you.
Yeah. In the past, though, have we, like last year, with the selection we chose, was there more additional services that we paid for?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Did we hear Chuck? Chuck, did we hear from you?
Aye.
Thank you.
He's quiet.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now the district calendar for next year.
All right. So it's really only about every 7 years that we, you know, sometimes it's with a leap year, but this is one of those years where the Labor Day is really late. So that's why I'm bringing this calendar to you a couple months early. Because, you know, as both Brett and Megan shared, you know, we started talking these conversations about, well, Labor Day falls really late, so we really have two options to be able to look starting before Labor Day or after Labor Day, and the options there. So the process that we go through when we start developing a calendar is Leslie really kind of lays it out for us with, of course, the required days of instruction and, you know, the conferences, the grading days, all of the holidays in there. And then I meet with the leadership team and get their feedback, and then with the unions to get their feedback. And I really appreciate that both unions surveyed their staff, and as they shared, they were both in favor of the earlier start date, as well as the leadership team. So I was going through my mind, okay, if it's mixed from their members, you know, are we gonna present both calendars to you? But it was made it easy that the majority of the people chose the earlier calendar. So once again, I'm presenting this in January because this is unusual that we would start before Labor Day, and I would want to get it out there before too long so that people can plan, because we know people plan their vacations and their time away and their you know, their summer jobs and all those other things. So
around when we start school.
Mhm.
Yeah, the seventh is pretty late.
Yeah. From Tuesday to that week will be chopped up, and then a 3-day weekend will be interesting. Are the other districts in the county kind of following the same idea, or?
I think people are still talking about it. You know, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to find out what other people do.
Kevin, I know there's a lot of schools in Portland that do it.
Okay.
They've been doing
it
it
for years
since when Snowmageddon was in 2017.
Yeah.
Missed like 2 weeks in December. They started doing it then just to catch up, just in case.
Had the.
Just as a more
they've
of a
been doing it
business
for-
decision, it's like, we need to start now so we don't get stuck in this again going into late June, 1st of July for school. So they've kind of, you know, bumped it up a week, and
But this doesn't.
No, some
mean we
states
have to set
start
the
even in
precedent of
August.
Starting before Labor Day.
No.
Next week.
No.
Yeah.
And like I said, what spurred this one on was because of how late.
It's so late. Yeah.
So the school year would end on the 10th of June, is that right? Is that the little
That's
red,
what I remember something about.
the little calendar?
It's the same.
Yeah,
It's all
June 10th
red.
versus.
As opposed
With
to
the
June
11th being the last day, grading day,
instructors.
and last day for licensed staff. in
When did the
November.
school end this year? Do you remember?
It's
June?
around then, right?
It's right around then, within a couple days of that.
Like that. So it's about the same. Graduation, I want to say was like the ninth.
Yeah, June 9th was the graduation.
And then there was a week of school after that for the
Couple days,
rest of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have the rest of the week. Graduation on Monday, typically for us.
So we'll finish around the same time then.
Finished around the same time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd finish a week later.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
We get to summer earlier.
And it's, would start August for the students, August 31st. Barely in August.
It may have an impact on, you guys are in the hospitality business, not me, but I just think that may have an impact on.
Oh, it already, I mean, not, if we, I can speak for the hotel world. It's
Right.
not that we're starting early because we all live here, but
Right.
definitely affects that. Portland has
Restaurants
started
and everybody else
early.
with that.
We see a decline in our end of August.
Traditionally, the week before Labor Day is always a slower week, 'cause everybody's getting
Going
back
back to
to their,
school.
back to their schools, so we see less kids, we see more of the retirees. People that are like, I don't wanna be around the kids.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but I don't think if we go back to school, that affects us necessarily. 'Cause
Yeah,
We live there.
I move to approve the 2026-2027 district calendar as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the 26-27 district calendar as presented. Are there any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Jen. All those opposed?
I'll say no.
What?
Yeah, let's go.
That's
okay.
I'm just going out, but I just think
Don't say.
we're talking a couple days when are there, and I think to throw this off, and especially if it kind of doesn't align with the other schools in the county, I think it'd be nice to know. So I would either propose we push it, but we already voted, or wait and see. So with this, I'll just say no.
Okay, well, motion carries. Kevin.
Yes,
Have a lovely
well,
announcement, not a lovely, an announcement. for us.
yes. Well, I just, couple things. I've had a heck of a year last year, a couple big surgeries and such, and kind of threw me off my game. And then I've gotten involved with several large real estate projects out of state. So it's going to take me out of state next meeting. I looked at the calendar. The next one for the next few, I'll be kind of hit and miss, not here. So I just think that this job is a big job. I listened to some of the challenges ahead, and I just think it's time for me to say thank you, but goodbye. And it's been an absolute honor to be part of the school board, Susan. I think you do a heck of a job. Everybody here, I mean, it's tough, and it's very personal, and it can get very emotional. I just hope everybody keeps everybody's focus on the kids and their education. That's what it's all about. And so everything that we do involves lots of competing priorities, but at the end of the day, they're coming out of this school with a diploma that helps them start the rest of their life. And so it's very meaningful work that's being done here. And I appreciate and honor you all. And I thank you for my time. And I wish you all the greatest of luck. I really do. I've got 3 grandkids in this school district, so it's very important to me. So good luck.
Well, we want to thank you for all your time and hard work spent on the board, and we appreciate it. We appreciate all your insight. Thank you.
No,
Is that effective immediately?
Yeah.
And does he get to keep the thing?
Yes, I got these
Yes, he
before my departure. Yes.
I think we should talk about that. Can we vote on that?
I'm gonna put that over here on this side.
You
get your name plate.
No, I'm just talking about the cookies.
He wants my goodies.
Sometimes on.
Kevin, I really appreciate you being on this board and asking good questions and help make some movement. It gave us a little more transparency in some areas that we needed more transparency. And so I appreciate you being on this board. And yeah, everybody is a part of this for a reason. So you had your reason, and I think you help move us forward. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, it's been, I've known you for a long time, and this has been a great experience to work with you. So thank you for all you do too.
We do have to make a motion.
Yep, I'll do it. I move to accept Kevin Lacosse's resignation from his position as school board member.
Second.
A motion's been made and seconded to accept Kevin Lacosse's resignation from his position as school board member. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Sure.
Reluctantly, aye.
Yes, reluctant.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, well now.
So the board does need to approve a process for appointing a new board member to fulfill Kevin's time that's remaining in the position. So what you have here is you have a couple documents here. The first one being the timeline and the proposed process. This is the same process that was used the last time we had a vacancy midterm like this. And so once again, this takes the for January 21st. Since you just approved to accept Kevin's resignation, that the vacancy would be posted and that the application would be open through February 3rd, a few weeks. This specifically is a position for Deerhart. So it is a specific location, and then once again, this process does include the board would need to decide if they wanted to appoint or if they wanted to have interviews, and then taking action to appoint the new school board member at the February meeting and for them to be sworn in and begin their new position in March.
And their position will last until
They'll have to,
2027.
Yep.
don't they have to,
Well, then,
once they're appointed, don't they have to run that next year though?
No, they fulfill the remainder of the
Of the
term
term.
that was vacated.
Okay.
And so that
Got it.
That's the
term
next.
would have ended June 2027.
Got it, okay.
So it'll go until June 2027, and then if they wanted.
If they
continue,
wanted to
would
run,
need
then
to
they
run.
could.
And they run in the
Right,
May
right,
election.
cause that's where when
Right.
she,
Yeah.
Brian's term ended.
Yep.
That year. Oh,
Uh-huh.
just want to wrap my brain around that. Sounds great.
Yes.
There, if I may note, there are a couple of, options and a couple of recommended motions. Whether you wanted to, appoint a committee to review applicants or whether the full board wanted to review applicants. That was a choice that was, given last time, options that were given last time. So you'll see those here.
At the end of the
Along-
document. Thank you,
Yeah,
Leslie.
along with some potential work session meeting dates and times for those reviews of applicants and potential interviews if you so choose.
I mean, last time you guys did the whole board.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would,
Anyway,
huh?
so there's not very many of us anyway.
I know, I would prefer a full board and
Yeah.
a committee is.
I think somebody needs to make a motion.
Oh,
Yeah.
somebody
So,
needs to make a motion.
To discuss. Uh-huh.
Yeah, go back up.
I move the board approve the proposed timeline and schedule with a work session on date to be determined for the full board to review an application.
Second.
All right, a motion has been made and seconded to approve the proposed timeline as scheduled work sessions to be determined. For the full board to review applications. Questions?
Do we need to decide on
Question.
what sec?
Oh, that was my question. Should we decide a work session? We need to decide one now. Already got your calendars, so it's fourth.
4th at 5.
I can't do the fifth.
I would just,
You can't do the fifth at all.
Fifth or sixth.
who has a question? Oh, Chuck.
Would this motion still allow for actual interviews for the applicants?
Yes.
Yes. I think we'd review applications and then we can do interviews.
Yeah, 'cause if you look at the timeline, it shows us doing,
It'll be pretty quick, but we can do it.
or maybe it doesn't.
It doesn't show interviews.
It doesn't show interviews because if, for instance, you get one applicant, you may not do interviews. You may choose to. So I think at your work session, you would determine whether or not you were gonna do interviews.
Okay,
That's right.
okay.
Okay, the only work session date that I could attend would be February 6th.
I could do the 6th during the day before 4.
This can be a virtual meeting.
Oh,
Yes.
I think we did it virtually last time.
I could do the morning of the
So
6th.
virtual is absolutely, an option. If that helps.
and Jason, what did you say? The 4th?
I'll be
Uh,
flying. I'll be flying on the 5th. And I will be able to attend on the 6th.
Would you be able to do an AM meeting, Chuck?
If it's not too early, I might be driving back from Portland that morning.
How about the 4th?
He's out of town still.
But it was virtual.
Oh, virtual.
Mhm. Chuck, would you be available for a virtual meeting on the 4th?
Yes, it would not be my preference, but sure, I would.
That's 2 p.m. or 5 p.m.
I know Sandra can't do
Mhm.
daytimes usually. Kat, what is your position?
It depends on the 6th. I could do early morning. And then on the 4th, it has 2 p.m. or
2 or 5.
Or 5 on the 4th or the 5th.
I can't do 5.
Okay, do we want to just say, we know the week, we know the about dates and then lock that in over email? My
Can we
my
do that?
concern here, one thing I
Yeah,
do want to bring up
yeah,
is like, this is a very aggressive timeline. What are we doing to get the word out about this opportunity?
There's a
So,
motion on the floor.
yep.
We should probably either withdraw that motion. So that a different motion could be made if you want to leave that week, just,
Well, he did say work
Indicate.
session TBD.
yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah,
So
So
that
we can just go with that
that's good. Okay.
and go with
Okay.
the work session to TBD.
Am I allowed to ask?
Yeah, yeah. we'll-
Yes.
Am I included in the interview process, or is that something that you've done in the past?
We have done that in the past and we would love it if you'd be involved.
Yeah, please.
Okay, then, I don't know if I get any say on this, but the 4th is my sister's birthday, and I think she'll be kind of mad if I'm not there, so not the 4th. And the 6th, I'm at a swim meet, so it's okay if I can't come, but that's.
Okay.
And, you know,
I
I,
do in an email. You
Yeah.
decide.
yep,
Yes.
yep. So,
Thank you.
So if I'm not mistaken, then the motion that's on the floor is move to approve, that the board approve the proposed timeline and schedules presented with the work session to be determined for the full board to review applicants.
Correct.
that is correct, yes.
Okay. So a motion's been made and seconded to approve the proposed timeline and schedules presented with a work session to be determined for the full board to review the applications.
And may I confirm who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you.
I asked the question I just asked about the timeline. So that timeline piece is dependent. My concern is, have we given ourselves enough time to message it out? I assume so because you've done it before, but how are we doing that?
Yeah, if this is approved, then tomorrow I will send a message out on Parent Square tomorrow
Okay.
to everybody saying that this application is available. And then I will also share it in the community groups that I attend, which the first one will be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Mhm. And when we did this last time, we did get a number of folks who
Okay.
filled it out.
We have good candidates.
You had really good candidates.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you chose me, so thank you.
We had good candidates. Yeah. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thanks, Chuck. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, so we will figure out a time.
Yep.
Where we can attend. I know Sandra has hard times in the mornings. Okay, do we have any board reflections or announcements?
I would just say it would be just a reflection, I guess. But there was a person who spoke here on a public comment, and she had said that most school districts allow for more time. And I think I know why that restriction was put in back in the day when there was a whole lot of public comment. But because we don't have much, I'm not sure if that's a board practice or policy or procedure. But I would suggest that we look at maybe moving that to 5 minutes or allowing more time for public comment if needed. Also, I would suggest that as we build these meeting agendas, there would be some sort of control of time for all presentations. So we have an idea of when to come and when we leave. Some presentations are great, but sometimes it's helpful to say, how long will it take, and put that on the agenda and let folks know. So we're running an agenda that we all can kind of start planning around. Those are just two suggestions.
In regard, I can share about public comment. The majority of public comment does have a 3-minute limit. That's very common practice. I think what she was probably referring to was presentations. I do not know of any school district or public meeting that has 10 minutes for public.
That could be a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing what she was referring to for
Like a
time for a
presentation.
presentation.
Yeah, which I could see would be a good idea about how long, so people could come in when they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else to come before the board?
I do want to think about celebrating the middle school teachers. I don't know what that looks like, but I mean, it's some really good work that they're showing. So I think as board members, we should celebrate those celebrations.
When I think when we make this work session.
Okay.
For the things, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Okay. Next meeting of the board is February 17th. Same place, same 6 o'clock right here. See you there. All right, meeting adjourned.
Yep.
Ready?
You.